as a vet, we always get told euthanasia is not a welfare problem. For the pet, euthanasia is not a welfare problem. For the owner, it usually is a huge welfare problem. And one of the big problems we have as vets when we euthanize a pet, because it is the best thing to do in that situation, we have to then deal with the owner, and we do that to a greater or lesser extent. That some of us will refer the owner to a grievance, grieving or mourning. No, not grieve. Hopefully, our job properly, we won't need to do that.
A grievance proceeding.
So some sort of grieving counsellor or bereavement counsellor. Others of us will just say, sorry about your loss, off you go, and I'll send you a card with a packet of forget-me-nots in a week's time. I can't help feeling the best way is a gradual preparation.
If you have that opportunity, I guess, if you have that opportunity, I think, it can be very sudden, or it can be incremental, in the same way that human death can be. It can be an anticipatory grieving over a long period of time if somebody has, for example, CA and widespread metastases. You know that you're going one way, and obviously the end of life teams with women and ride, although they're very amazing and good. But in A&E, you can have very sudden, as I say, where people's lives have changed in an instant. They've said goodbye to someone in the morning, and then they're at the bedside and they're dying in the evening. A very tragic, kind of sudden. I guess hopefully, if you've known them for a period of time, then I suppose you have a relationship that you can probably judge what they might need. If you've never met them before, it's that bit harder, isn't it? But I think the most important thing is that you listen to what they say, even if it's only for a few minutes, even if you've only got that time to just allow them to say what they want to say, if they want to say something. And some people may not, because we all deal with death differently. And the trouble with death is it resonates with the other deaths you've ever had, all the other losses. So it's not even as simple as the pet, is it? It's all very well saying it's not a pet welfare, the pet's problem, but it's so integral in that person's life.
Yeah, absolutely. And a number of times a pet dies, and the owner says, my dad went 3 months ago, and this all comes back. Or gosh, my aunt had exactly the same thing. And you wish that you hadn't said what you'd said to lead up to that and given them the trigger. But I guess they're going to find that trigger anyway, aren't they? They're going to, in a way, they need to find some sort of pattern to it, because that's how we work through life, isn't it? We look at patterns, we look at ways of doing things that have happened that we can relate to, because we've already compartmentalized these a little bit. Is that right?
Yeah, so I think if somebody wants to talk about it, then we shouldn't be frightened of talking about death. I think we're not very good probably at talking to people about loss and death and disability and those things.
And that's come up a few times in Veterinary Ramblings, that I think as a culture we handle death very badly, and our way is to not talk about it and to hide it away. Other cultures may not embrace death, but embrace the idea that we can celebrate someone's life, we can celebrate a pet's life, we can acknowledge that they've gone, but think that actually their contribution to our lives is still there. And we almost denigrate that, don't we, when we mourn someone's loss?
Yes, I think there's a real opportunity to explore the gift that animal has given them, that their pet has given them, and the joyful memories. And it's almost, we do it with a wake in humans, don't we? But we don't have that really with pets. We don't really have that.
Some do.
Yeah, some do. I believe some of the pet cemeteries, don't they? And how many people, most people's experience would be that sadly, the journey to the vets, and you make the final decision with the vet, and you're left alone to before and after to say your goodbyes, and then you make a decision about where you want your animal to finally go to rest, whether they're going to be cremated or what you're going to take them home, bury them, or whatever. But I think it's all quite sudden, and that but of course a pet may be the only important thing in somebody's life. And I think when we were talking to Louise, and we were first really exploring the canis kind of information, and so many of the vets at that time were feeling that the only way forward really was euthanasia. That was just a huge, just what for one lady, where that her pet was the only thing in her life that gave her meaning, and that she felt was important, or that was the reason she got up in the morning. And it's, yeah, you have to look at every individual and their circumstances. And of course, you haven't got time as vets, have you?
For almost every vet, it's been something they picked up as they've gone along. And they've gone through situations they thought, yeah, that went okay. And others not.